Top of the morning to you. We're here at Bushman Park. Gonna walk around a little bit. It's a nice little park, about a half a mile boardwalk around a lake. Nice little park for a nice short session to report, so we're gonna take a nice little walk, talk about a session here. So the start of this session actually has not been so great. We're making some pretty liberal opens and being a bit of a station, but we take a break and then recollect ourselves and look down at pocket aces in the small blind. Nice recollecting hand, gonna get back into the action. So the cutoff opens to $15, and with the pocket aces in the small blind, we are going to 3-bet up to $50. The cutoff makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of 5, 8, 9. There's some jumping fish in the lake, just like some jumping fish in this hand. We bet $50 on the 5, 8, 9 board, and we get raised to $125. And it's kind of an interesting raise here, you know, on this really wet, connected, low board where we have aces. It's not like the greatest spot, but we have aces. We're not going to fold. We make the call. The turn is another 9, so not particularly the best card either. We check to the raiser, and they check back. The river comes offsuit 7. So, man, this board is really, really connected, and I'm really just planning to go check call here. So I check, our opponent checks back, and turns over pocket 4s for, I guess, trying to get us to fold a hand like ace king. But so we take some money there. So starting to climb back out of the hole, starting to pick up some hands and get back into the session. Taking a little stroll off the paved path here to bring you our second hand. We look down at ace 10 of diamonds in middle position. Definitely going to be raising this one up here. We raise it up to $25. We get 2 callers. We get the button and the big blind to call. So we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes 9, 7 deuce, 2 diamonds. We definitely have a lot of equity here, pretty good hand. So after the big blind checks, we are going to bet $60. I think this is pretty standard into 2 people with 2 overs and a lot of equity to the nut flush. The button, however, decides that they are going to raise to $150. Not feeling super great about this considering we don't have a made hand, but we're probably gonna have to call. So the big blind folds, and we do decide to make the call for $150. Going to the turn is an offsuit 6. So we pick up even more equity with a gutter to the straight with our 2 overs and the flush draw. So we check for opponent as they are the raiser, and they bet 200. Now, this is a really interesting spot, right? Because we have a ton of equity with 2 overs, the nut flush draw, and a gutter. But the problem is that if we call here and then improve, we still have to check to protect our range, and there's a good chance that we don't get any more value from this hand. So because this bet is super close equity-wise, as far as pot odds go, it's like really break even, and I think this one tips it to a fold because we can't really get any more value if we improve. So kind of upset to, you know, go back down to where we started before the first hand, but we're about to pick it up here. We add on for $200, and we pick up pocket 8s and pocket 9s in relatively consecutive hands. I think they were a couple hands apart. And we take some nice little pots there, you know, raise pre-flop, bet flop, take it down. So made a little bit of it back, but we are still continuing to battle here. Really looking to get the session kicked back into action, and we look down at the perfect hand to do that with. We look down at pocket kings. Really gonna get the session back going here. Raise it up, and everybody folds, which sucks. But that's okay, because we pick up pocket kings again in the big blind. Gonna be looking to raise it up here, but the button decides he's going to do it for us. He raises up to $30 over 2 limpers. Definitely gonna be putting in the 3-bet here in the big blind. We raised it up to $100. I think this is pretty good over the limpers and the $30 raise. So the limpers fold, the button calls. We're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes 10, 10, 5. Really interesting board here. I mean, I don't expect the button to have too many 10s for $100, but you know, maybe like ace 10, maybe 9-10 suited, but definitely going to be putting in the C bet here. We're going to bet the exact same amount we bet pre-flop, just under half pot. I think this is, you know, you could argue against this bet size. You could either argue for smaller or bigger, but I'm trying to get some value with my pocket kings here, so I bet $100 on this board. The button does call. In turn comes a 9, and now I'm really looking to see where I am. So I size up here. We go to $250 on this 9, and the button decides they are going to let it go. So we definitely took a nice size pot there, and pretty happy that the session is starting to look our way again. Final hand of note that we're going to talk about for this session, as it was a short session, we look at ace king suited in early position, also looking at a $10 under the gun straddle. We're going to be raising it up here, raising it up pretty good. Raise it up to $40 over this straddle. Everybody else on the table folds. Straddler makes the call. Let me go heads up to the flop. Flop comes about as good as we're going to get with no pair. Comes queen, jack, deuce, 2 spades. So we've essentially got the, you know, the world without a pair. Straddler checks. We bet 60. You know, I think I'm going to just try to get the money in here. We have so much equity with 2 overs, a gutter, and the nut flush draw. But the straddler folds. So feeling pretty good about this session overall. Took some tough ones. Was really sloppy in the beginning, but finishing okay. Not too long of a session. We were there for about 3 hours. Into the game for 1100, out of the game for 1090, booking a loss of exactly $10, which, if you ask me, is effectively breaking even. I mean, that's close enough. $10, 2 big blinds and 2-5. I broke even today. Feels pretty good. Definitely wasn't playing well in the beginning and then rallied it back up at the end. So feeling all right about this session. So I'm gonna keep walking around here. Hopefully you guys can enjoy some of the view. I mean, the view out here is just absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so we're gonna walk around. That's gonna do it for this episode. Really had a great time walking around Bushman Park here and playing 2-5 at the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. So important to get outside, even if it's not really intense exercise. Just getting out into the world, taking a walk around a little bit. So important. Keep your body healthy, keep your mind healthy. This is Runner Poker. Have a good one. Square up.